talk about Elkanah and both his wives and Hannah, and I want to be a theologian, so I studied their journey. I studied Hannah's journey and how they went to Shiloh and they would pray, and I was like, God, that's me. That's what I'm going to talk about today. Okay, so no, that wasn't it. I didn't get a read on that. Nope. So then I like animals. I love animals. So then I was thinking about the mountain goat and how the mountain goat ascends to 13,000 feet in the air in the winter. And then when they come down to descend for the spring, what they do is they immediately shed their coat. So you can see them running down the hill and they are prancing and dancing because they have to shed their winter coat in order to go down and drink the water. So I said, I want to be philosophical like that. I got that. I got that. This is their journey. So I heard God so clearly say to me, Annette, tell them what you know. Tell them what you know. Stop all of that. I said, okay, that's good enough too. So what I know for sure is I'm 48 years old. I've been married to the same man for 27 years. Yeah, he the same one. And we have 3 children. That's what I know for sure. What I know for sure is in the fall of 05, when I was attending Dunamis Outreach, I know for sure what I heard. Pastor Lane was up there teaching and preaching, and I was sitting almost right in the middle section. You know where the middle section is? So he's walking that way, and he's talking, and he's preaching, and he's teaching, and he stops, and he turns to me, and he looks at me, and he says, Annette, God has not forgotten your dreams. He is going to have you speak to the nations. He is going to have you speak to the world, and you will be the voice. And then you know what he did? He kept walking. And this and this and this. And he stopped. So much so that nobody even knew he was talking to me. I had to stop and think like, wait, hold up, did Pastor Wayne just talk to me? And he kept walking and going as if he said nothing. And he never mentioned it, and I never mentioned it. But I knew in that moment that was God speaking to me. I knew, you know why? Because all through high school, in 5th grade, I was in a public speaking contest. My mother and father entered me into a public speaking contest, and I was like, what, me? I don't feel like it. Well, my sister won all city. When I was in 5th, she was in 6th, so she beat me. So I was in 2nd place in the elementary. Well, once you won in the elementary, what you were able to do was go to the citywide and win. So my sister won, and her name was on the front office, and as soon as she came in from All City, the principal was over the loudspeaker, and they said, we would like to announce Miss Candace Martin. She has won All City. And I was like, wait, hold up. I want that too. And I was mad at my mother and daddy originally for putting me in the contest, but I wanted that. So I said to myself, okay, all right. So once she had to leave, and then it was my turn in 6th grade, and guess whose name is now on the front office? Mine. Yes, so when Pastor Lane said that I would be speaking, I was like, yes, God, you hear me. That's all I've ever wanted to do all my life. I love public speaking. It's my life. It's my heart. Yes, it's my heart. It is my soul. It's what I do. That is what I do. So when he said that, because I always... All right, yeah. So you can find my high school journals, and in my high school journals, I used to write, I will be the Mrs. Les Brown. Les Brown was my hero. He was one of the people I looked up to, I admired. And so when Pastor Lane said that, I said, oh, yeah. So what I started doing was calling nonprofits. Hi, my name is Annette from Kinsey Consulting. Yeah. And what I do is I do public speaking, I do workshops, I do training. And the other people on the other line was like, oh, okay. Yeah, so if you need any of my services, what I'm going to do is I'll be available. They were like, okay, send me your packet. So I'm like, wait, hold up just a second. They don't know what I've been prophesied and I'm about to blow up. Because I've been waiting to blow up. That's what I want to do. So I called another nonprofit and the same thing happened. Oh, okay, just send me your packet and we'll, if we need your services. So what I didn't know And what people may be envious of is, I wish Pastor Lane would stop and talk to me and prophesy to me. Baby, it's a fire that goes with that prophecy. For me, I needed to be strengthened. I needed the word. I wasn't ready to go to the world yet. 10 years later, Sister Lane asked me to speak. It has taken a stage, a journey that I've embraced, that I went through for 10 years. I've been in schools. I'm now a professor. How did I become a professor? It's only God. I'm now a professor. I go to Cody. I teach for Wayne County. I go to Cody. I do the bridge program. So I teach all high schoolers public speaking, how to present yourself, how to sell yourself in 30 seconds or less. This is my heart and my soul. So when he said the prophecy, never did I know that I would have to continue in worshiping warriors. Who all went to worshiping warriors? So you already know. I think Felicia was in a class with me, the one that lasted almost a year. And so I told Pastor Lane, thank you so much, but I'm done. Yeah, I'm out. No, you're not. You're back in the next class. I was like, so so what you want is, you probably want Tony, because that Negro didn't grow up in the church. I grew up in the church though. I'm good. I know all my lingo. And he was like, nope, you're back in worshiping warriors. So I had to go through worshiping warriors 3 times. And I was like, really? Me? I like me? You want me back in there? Yep, you're back in. So never did I know that this was a process, that God just couldn't release me to go talk to the nation and the world. I had to get girded up. I had to build my muscle. I had to build my compassion muscle. I had to build my muscle to be sympathetic and empathetic to people. That muscle was not built yet. That muscle was crafted in worshiping warriors. That muscle was crafted in coming to the ministry, women's ministry. That muscle was crafted on everything that I had to do. So again, I found some notes. You all love how I find my notes. I found some notes from April 18, 2020. And Pastor Lane that day was teaching out of 1 Corinthians 3.
April when?
April 18th, 2020. I mean 2010.
Oh.
2010.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 2010.
Okay.
And it says this, and this is from 1 Corinthians 3 and 9. We have fallen in love with spectacles and missed Christ. I had fallen in love with the spectacle that I was going to be the Mrs. Les Brown. I missed Christ totally, and I'm calling jokers like, hey, this is what I do. Did you want me right now? Because I'm about to blow up. You might as well get me before I blow up, because then I won't be available to you. Then we stand in our own vision. I was standing in my own vision, and I missed Christ. And now we mad and disappointed. So I'm frustrated that they not taking my call. They're not calling me back. The same people calling me back. I got a contract with the YMCA. I'm teaching their youth. I have a contract with this person. I'm teaching their youth public speaking. And because we're disappointed sometimes, we move to other stuff. What would be the other stuff? Floods, anything that takes us away from God, anything that tickles our fancy, where we believe that we are going to get some type of data boys and some type of what's up, girl? You know you looking good. Now, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with floods. I've been there myself. I watched Bam play there before. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is when we continue to go there to seek what we're looking for, when we continue to go there to seek our guidance and our love. So when I went down in my notes, and now we're in 1 Corinthians 3 and 11, it says, what are we building our foundation on? You build your foundation on Christ. Our buildings are strong. Our buildings, that I look good from the outside. I called them jokers, yeah. But what was my foundation? I didn't have enough foundation. So when the winds tossed and came and went to and fro, I'm not saying I went with it, but it wasn't time for me to go out and build a foundation with others, because my foundation needed to be strengthened. How do we strengthen our foundation? So what makes me what makes me spiritual is the Holy Ghost uses us to celebrate what Christ has done. And at the end of the day, we come as Christ's representatives. We represent the resurrection at the end of the day. And we have a building made of one thing, and our foundation is made of another. And in that scripture, it was talking about, once you go to 1 Corinthians 3:11, it talks about our foundation is going to be tested. And what will we do when our foundation is tested? Does anyone remember Pastor Lane having us remember the Psalms? Psalms 1. So who are my AP students? So I'm going to ask you for a song. Who my AP students are, my extra achievers? Who got Psalms 23? Stand up and give it to me like you mean it. Psalms 23. Come on.
I would start off.
He maketh me to lie down and bring pasture.
Come on.
He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leads me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, that comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
Yes. So those scriptures were not just for us to, oh yeah, that's nice. No, that was to build foundation. He was helping us build our muscle because he knew that God had a greater call on our lives. God has a greater call on our lives. How do you build the muscle? How do you continually say the word? You go to worshiping warriors for 3 times. You study and you study. And what you do is once we start building that muscle, now God can use us in our journey so that we can enjoy the journey. I went to physical therapy the other day. And when I went to physical therapy, I was excited because I finally I've been in physical therapy 11 months for a herniated disc and all of the other stuff going on with my back. So I was like, yes, when the physical therapist checks me, when he gives me the assessment, I know I'm going to do well. This was, on Thursday, I had this because I'm feeling a lot better. So when she gave me the assessment, she pushed down my right knee again where I'm having an issue. And she was like, she pushed it down easily. She said it's still weak. And I went and talked to a physical therapist because I was disappointed. I said, you know what? I've really been working hard. What is going to be the key to my back healing? I'm ready for this. I'm ready to be over with this. He said, your core is not strong. Wow. Continue to build your core. What does that mean? Continue to build our foundation. Continue to build the middle of where we are. Wow. Because when we start building our foundation, everything else that comes our way, we're not tossed and driven. If a storm comes today and this body is made out of plywood and we don't have a correct foundation and that joker not made of bricks, guess what that joker gonna do? Fall right down and crumble in. And how do we build our core? Somebody tell me, how am I gonna build my core? Anybody? Planks. Yes, planks. How often do you think I need to do the planks to build my core? Every day. Somebody else tell me something. Help me. Sit-ups. Yes, sit-ups. Anything else? Pull-ups. Something else? Eating right. Yes. Something else? Pilates. I like Pilates. So how often would everyone suggest I do this?
Often. It wouldn't have to be every day.
Yeah.
But very often.
Often. Okay.
Several times a week.
So when Psalms 1 talks about building our foundation, we're going to meditate on the word when? Day and night. That builds our foundation. The core is weak. Why is the core weak? Because we are not building the muscle day in and night.
That's right.
Day in and night. We are not building our core. So what happens when we don't build? So when that came in 2005, Pastor Lane talked to me about teaching and preaching, when that happened in 2005, and that next fall, 2006, Tony was diagnosed with cancer. What? Wait just a second. Hold up. slow down, because I need to be out in the world. I finally had got Matthew to kindergarten. I finally had 8 hours in a day to me, people. Literally. Tony was diagnosed with cancer on Wednesday. He lost his job on Friday. Literally. Now we are home parents together. Oh, Lord Jesus. So we are home parents. So what am I to do? So I've been in Worship and Warriors. Okay, so I've been in women's ministry. So God has been preparing me and building my muscle. Okay, so now I have a mildly depressed husband who is, if you were to talk to him in October, November, December, I promise he wouldn't believe anything or remember anything that you all were saying, because he was so out of it. He was so out of it. So what did I need to do? Okay, so I needed to spring into action. So what I did was enrolled us in every class Carmana's had. Literally, I was in pet therapy, I was in yoga therapy, I was in art therapy, I was in therapy, you name it, and the Kinsey family were there. And not only did I not understand at that moment that we need Carmana's, but Carmana's needed us. Because as we walked in as a united front, people were looking and they were saying, oh, there goes the Kinseys, there they go. Because if you sit in Carmana's, and we spent hours and hours there. If you sit there, what you'll understand is so many people have lost their families. Mm-hmm. Men have left their wives. Women have left their husbands. Because you know what? They said, I didn't sign up for all of this. This is not what I signed up for when I got married. No. So when we came in there on a united front, that's what we just had to do. Because I'm pulling Tony like, come on. We home parents now. Quit playing. You all in my territory. We going to the water every morning. We walking every morning. We are going to enjoy and embrace this journey. Now at night, when I was in the quietness of my house, because I studied Psalms 1, Psalms 27, Psalms 23, Psalms 67, Psalms 91, all the Psalms that Pastor Lane asked us to remember. I had that. So some nights when I went to bed and because I couldn't let him see me sweat, because he was already in a daze. And so some nights I would I had enough for the Lord is my shepherd. That's all I had enough for. Mm-hmm. Literally. I didn't have any more for the day. And that was enough to get me back up the next morning and do whatever I needed to do. Because Pastor Lane asked us, he said, we're going to have 7 years of famine and 7 years of feast, and you need to save. 7 years of income. I'm telling you, we had saved for 8 years. 8 years. Tony was out of work for 2 years. We spent every bit of that. It was $275,000. We spent every bit of it. So when the economic downturn came in 2008, we slapped each other high five. We was like, hey, we spent ours. Everybody, there's nothing else to be worried about if the market is going down or up. It's gone. We needed to pay mortgage, house notes. And during that time, you heard the naysayers say, well, I mean, how come you not out working? Why you all, no. This is where God has me. Hold up, everybody relax. So, never knowing that 2 years of savings that we spent is gone. It's gone. That's gone. So now what do? You are looking in the face of a reality where you have spent everything. You have a husband who is still mildly depressed. You have all elements in this journey. And I could have, like Joyce Meyer says in this book, we can murmur, complain. I could have murmured and complained like, I ain't signed up for this. You tripping. Because after all the money was spent, guess what? A lot of sheriff sales on the door. We got knocks at the door on Sunday, right after church. And that thing was taped right on the door. We got 3 of them. Your house going to go to sheriff's sale in about 2 to 3 months. Now all the money's gone. Now what? Now, back to the word. Psalms 1, blessed is the man who walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sinners. We back to the foundation. Back to the foundation. Our cores are weak. Our cores are weak. So in order to build the cores, we build the muscle. They are weak. So back to the core and the foundation and what I've been trained for and what I stood for. And so when Pastor, now we are at 09. I'm going to skip you to 09. This was told to me in 05. I'm going to skip to 09. So now we are at the hospital so much, the hospital has done articles on us. As a matter of fact, I wrote 2 6-week curriculums for Carmanas. I wrote 2 parenting through cancer and caregiving through cancer. Let me tell you why I wrote those curriculums. Just a quick story. We were in therapy, and we were in art therapy, and it was a couple in art therapy, and we were Tony and I were the only African Americans. It was right downtown, and it was a room a lot like this, and so we were the African Americans here, and there was another mother and father there. Their son is the one who had cancer, so I'll call him Amigo for namesake because a lot of people knew him. We'll say Amigo. He was in a wheelchair, so gregarious. You would want to meet him. You would want to meet him. So we are there, and Amigo's parents are arguing. They are at it. Like, I can't believe if you was a daddy, then my son wouldn't have had cancer. And now, mind you, this is a little puny Caucasian therapist. And she's like, well, order, we got to calm down. And then all of these other people, and this couple is scaring them. See, that's why he got it. That's why he got it, because you sitting up here. They were like that in in therapy. They were at each other's throat. And I said, God, you know what? I'm here, so please give me answers for this. So I teamed up with the American Cancer Society, Carmanas, and my company. And what I did in congruent with the American Cancer Society funded the whole thing. So they funded the food for the art therapy. And with all of us, what I did was wrote the 6-week curriculum, and I taught parents. And so parents would come in, and I would just talk to them how to talk to your children about how to talk to them about cancer. I would talk to the caregivers, which was myself, how to caregive through cancer. And so writing both of these 6-week curriculums, what happened after that was so many people were equipped. So I wasn't, in 05, it wasn't my time yet. I still was in Worshiping Warriors. I still was here. So forward to 08 and 09, when I ran the 2 curriculums, 09, we recorded the commercial. A lot of you seen it. Everyone came to our house. They came to our table. And when the 09, when the guy came to the house, the producer, he tried to talk to Tony, and Tony did just like this. He said, so tell me your story. When did I have cancer, baby? He's still in a haze because he's still on the chemo medicine. He's still having pains and aches and you name it, everything that goes with that thing. And so everything that goes with that, so I just took over. I was like, you know what? He was diagnosed in October 06, and the producer was like, you got to be in a commercial. No, like me? And then so I'm like, oh, here comes the prophecy. Here I go. Never knowing that God was going to impact thousands and hundreds of thousands of lives. And when we would go to the park, so this thing was not about me. That foundation I was building was not for me. It was for others. And Annette, get you out the way. Quit calling folks. Talking about what Kinsey Consulting has got to offer. No, God sees, God knows, and in his appointed time, you will do exactly what he's asked you to do. And so the commercial, we taped in, it was an 8-hour tape for a 30-second commercial. We taped in the beginning of September. They start running it at the end of September. It was only supposed to run for 6 months. Carmana said they had so many calls for it, it ran for 2 years. So anybody that saw Tony and I on the street that was either a cancer survivor, we were in Campus Martians just walking in the park. You know, we were home parents together. Why not? Because he had got laid off from another job. He got a job, got laid off from another one. So this couple came and just sat down to us and with us, and she was like, I really would love a wife that looks at me as endearing as you looked at him. And he didn't know that the producer had asked me to stop saying Tony's lines. Tony kept saying Carmanos. I'm like, baby, no, come on, get this. I got you. You got this. It's Carmanas, like Peter Carmana, like give us. He kept saying Carmano. So when I'm looking at him doing this, I'm like, come on, get the lines. Get the lines. So people are like, that is so endearing. And I held his hand. Because I held his hand, I was like, come on, baby, let's get this. So I got to go get the kids. They got to get out of my house. So the point then is at God's appointed time, when the journey is right, and although the journey seemed arduous and long, and I felt like that And sometimes I felt like I couldn't even do the journey. Like I was just so limp and weak. And then the foundation, and I reminded myself and I encouraged myself from the Psalms, and I would come to church and say, amen, because I was not going to let Satan win. We have an adversary that wants to kill, steal, and destroy. He wanted to take our family out. Every time he tried to take our family out, in 2007, we were featured in the Hope magazine, Carmana's magazine. In 2009, and then 2010, I designed I hired this girl to design a logo for a t-shirt. That dream, I buried it, but brought it back up from this speech right here. So that journey is one that I'll be taking from here on out. So when it says enjoy your journey, enjoy what God has given you. When you take one step after another step, after another step, God is going to guide you in the particulars and where he needs you. And maybe that was the moment that I was supposed to be speaking to the nation and the world. Maybe that was it. And maybe there's another moment. But I'm just going to realize the journey, enjoy the journey, brace for the journey, get my core strong in more ways than one, day in and day out, practicing the word, meditating on the word, getting our core strong so that we can have fight for the journey. We embrace the journey. And I don't know what God has for me in the area of speaking. I'm not even concerned about that anymore. I'm not calling folks. When I got a professorship at Wayne County Community College, you won't believe I was laid out from Delta. I was sitting in a beauty salon. I recognized a woman from 27 years ago, from when we were in college together, and God finally said, speak to her. I hadn't been speaking to her because I was in a little sister organization in college, and I didn't like what the organization had did to me, and I believe they had violated me and all of my being, and so I didn't speak to anybody from the organization, although I was in the little sister organization. And so one of my little sisters was sitting in the salon with me when I was off of work, when I was off of work, so God said, I need you to speak to her. And I said to myself, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. I don't want to talk to her. Tell her who you are, Annette. Maybe. Let me get my hair washed right quick, because this is all built foundation. Quit Annette. So I finally told her who I was. I called her first name. For purposes of the camera, I'll just say Nikki. Hi, Nikki. She was like, oh, you know my real name? I said, yes, Nikki. We were supposed to be roommates at Ferris, and I was supposed to be your roomie there, but I got pregnant with Anthony, so I couldn't come to Ferris. And I said, you took me and my dad to the deposit box. And I was supposed to actually room in the bedroom with you. And she was like, oh my gosh, hey, girls. 3 hours later, she texted me. She said, would you like to be a professor at Wayne County Community College? What? I don't, wait, just a minute. Hold on, because they always told me you needed a master's degree. I don't have a master's degree. I texted her right back up. It's right on my text. I don't have a master's degree. She said, would you like to be a professor at Wayne County Community College? Absolutely. I'm telling you, it moved so fast. Within 2 weeks, I was a professor and teaching for the Bridge program at Cody. What? Okay, so this is some of the appointed time. Okay, Master Lane, I got you in 05, all right? Mm-hmm. Because I wanted to just go out in the world. And so now that we are equipped, we have strengthened our core, we are girded up, we have to prepare others for the battle. Our young nieces and nephews and daughters and sons, they're looking at us. And when I believe that God spoke through Sister Lane and asked me to speak today, I'm like, no, I'm not ready right now, because in 05 I was ready though. I'm ready. I'm ready right now. Everything in my life is not going like I want it right now. I'm not ready to speak. God says, so as I'm crying this morning, like bawling, crying, God says, I seen you. I seen what you were doing, and I seen who you were, and I called you anyway. You are who I wanted to speak this morning. I wiped my tears. My girlfriend will tell you, she came up in my bedroom. She was like, May, are you crying? I'm like, yeah, because I don't think I'm ready right now. My life is crazy. And God says, I saw that. And it's okay. I need to let you know, strengthen the core. He woke me up last night to say our cores need to be strengthened, our foundations need to be strengthened. And how do you do that? Get back to what we did. Psalms 1, Psalms 23, Psalms 27, Psalms 67, Psalms 91. All of those psalms that we were given. And I didn't have a big philosophical Hannah and Peninnah. And I didn't have all that. Today I just gave you what God gave me. I gave you what I know. And I pray that you all are strengthened and encouraged during the journey.
Amen.